Welcome to Ultimate Survival Gear. Today, as you guys can see, I have yet again something from Under Armour for the review. Let's open up the box and see what we got, because these are the brand new boots from Under Armour that were just added to their tactical combat boot lineup. And it is their Valsetz, yes, but this time it is the Charged Valsetz, which is Charged is their the whole line of Charged sneakers. In fact, I do use Charged sneakers for been using them for about 2 years now for all my runs, and they are quite comfortable. So let's see if this is the case with these Valsetz boots. Now these are with the side zip, and I am sure we're gonna see some more models available as we go further in the waterproof configuration and without the side zip, if that's what you want. But I do prefer the side zip because it makes it much easier to put on and take off. So, as always, let's start this review from the very first criterion. Whenever it comes to picking the right shoe wear for yourself, it is the comfort level. And whenever it comes to the comfort level, so far I have used these in some of my drills, some of my rucks, with the weight, without the weight, move and shoot, and so far I gotta say I am very impressed with the comfort level of these boots. I always thought that Valsetz, Under Armour Valsetz in general, were some of the most comfortable tactical boots that you can possibly get. Not necessarily the most long-lasting, which we'll talk about this later in this review, but whenever it comes to the comfort, you just cannot go wrong with the Valsetz, and it seems to be the case with these particular Valsetz model as well. So what does contribute to the comfort level of these boots? A few things. First of all, the weight. Let's grab my scales and see exactly how light or heavy these boots are. This is size 10, and size 10 is 17.3, which I gotta say, for a full-size boot with the side zip, it is quite impressive. Overall, whenever it comes to the weight, I would recommend trying to find something under 20 ounce. Again, the lighter you go, the more on the protection that you compromise, but with that lightness, of course, you do have the luxury of having that comfort. So after a long run, walk, ruck, whatever it is that you're doing, you are not as fatigued basically by the weight on your feet. Now there are a few other things that contribute to the comfort level. I'm gonna open up and I'll try to reach the inner sole, because the inner sole is very, very good on these. As you can see, the inner sole, there is a very nice heel bed, and it does have quite a good amount of cushioning, so it is very soft. And once you remove the inner sole, which as you can see, there's also quite a lot of support overall. I think they did a very good job with the inner sole, but once you remove the inner sole, there is actually another layer, if you can see it in there, yellow, that is also a very nicely, it's like a jelly. So there's, besides the inner sole, honestly, you can probably just remove this and wear if you need to, if it is too cushiony for you, but yeah, this is very nice and soft overall. And the same goes for the padding as well. As you can see, the tongue is nicely padded, the side, the shaft, the sides of the shaft, nicely padded. Right here in the back, heel is nicely padded, and throughout the toe box, you have that padded lining going as well, which definitely contributes to the comfort level big time. So let's move on to the second criteria. It is the proofing and protection. So these are not waterproof, but I'm sure we will see the waterproof version of these as well. Honestly, if you are getting the full size, you probably would want to opt in for waterproof, just because, why not? Again, it really depends on how much of a gusseting they're gonna implement. As you can see here in the non-waterproof version, there is not much of gusseting at all, which is completely fine. And honestly, even if you do get these boots wet, they will dry up pretty quickly, because overall you do have a pretty good breathability. And this synthetic material, it's, you know, it's quite quick whenever it comes to drying up. But keep in mind that there is no drainage holes in this, and honestly, in a non-waterproof version, I really would think I would appreciate seeing some drainage vents, just so that, you know, once you do get them wet, just so that they dry up even faster. Protection wise, you do have a little bit of this PU lining going over the toe box, and the same thing here in the heel area, which does add a little bit of reinforcement. Not much, and overall the toe box is still pretty soft, so you know, if you drop anything, you're definitely gonna feel it. But on the plus side, and we will talk more about it later in the outsole, but the outsole that they used, which is really nice, is from Vibram. So Vibram rubber is a high quality outsole. I use it in all of my, I use them in all of my climbing, mountaineering boots, and it is absolutely fantastic. So you do have a little bit of that Vibram outsole going over the toe box, which gives you some front toe box protection, which is great, especially, you know, depending on where you are walking, hiking. That will definitely be pretty good, and in tactical applications as well. You know, if you're running up the stairs and you knock your toe, that's not gonna be as bad as it could have been. Just don't drop anything from the top, because that will be really bad. And of course, from you know, the whole outsole, you do have protection there as well, but we will talk about that later. Let's move on to the criteria number 3, which is quality and design features. Quality wise, that was one of the issues overall whenever it comes to really both Stellar Tack and the Valsetz from Under Armour. They just did not last, so hopefully that's not going to be an issue with these ones. Hopefully they did improve on the quality and longevity of, you know, of this boot in particular. We will see. I can't really comment on that, but if you had experience with these longer, which you probably didn't because they just came out on the market, but you know, 6 months from now, a year from now, I'm sure I will be able to provide an update, and everyone else who's watching this video, they will be able to provide as well. So we will see, But overall, taking into consideration, you know, the comfort, everything that you're getting in the boot, and the price tag, which we'll talk about all of that later, overall, it is a pretty good option, and it still is very positive reviews and positive feedback from customers overall. And if you look at Amazon, you know, the previous versions of Valsetz, they have thousands of 5-star reviews for a reason. Now, design features, usually here I talk about the lacing system. As you can see, the lacing system here is pretty straightforward, and it actually is pretty good. The laces themselves are very thin and round, so it's very easy to tighten them and loosen them up, and they slide through very nicely. You do have fabric loops going, 5 pairs of fabric loops going throughout the bottom part of the boot, and then you do have some, for some reinforcement, 2 pairs of steel hardware, and then of course the rings, which makes it quite easy again to put this on and take them off. But the best part about, and I think this is for me personally, honestly, whenever it comes to combat tactical boots, I do like the side zip. I know some people don't, because that is additional something that can go wrong basically with a boot, and I completely understand that, but it does make it so much easier, so much faster to put them on and take them off. I really do like the fact that, you know, there is a side zip here, and of course you do have the Velcro that covers up the tab, so it doesn't get in the way anywhere, and doesn't snag on anything. All right, so done with that, let's move on to the criteria number 2, which is the outsole traction and stability. Now, so far I had the opportunity to test these boots on a variety of the terrain, gravel, you know, your grass, regular trail surface, on some rock, and they perform very well on pretty much anything. The only thing here I wanted to mention, kind of it's not really a complaint, but something for you to keep in mind, especially because people who are getting these, you know, if you're law enforcement, you're working in the security, that might be something that, you know, potentially you want to keep in mind, is that this particular outsole, this Vibram rubber, is quite squeaky, which is not on this, surprisingly. Then this is a granite countertop, and it's not squeaky on this, but it is squeaky on quite a few surfaces, flat, shiny surfaces specifically. It is quite squeaky on the hardwood floors, so keep that in mind. Just something for you, to keep in mind, because stealth is quite an important factor. But overall, whenever it comes to traction and stability, there isn't really much that is better than the Vibram out there, and the pattern that Under Armour picked for these boots is quite impressive as well. It does perform really pretty much anything you throw at it. It performs very well on wet grass, dry grass. It performs fantastic. It is slip resistant, so on flat shiny surfaces you will still have a good grip. And if you notice, there is this groove system going on the side, which is, if you're rappelling, which will be very helpful as well. Overall, I think it is a great move that Under Armour went with the outsole. It does add a little bit to the price tag compared to the previous models, but we'll talk about the price tag a little bit later. Let's move on for now to the criteria number 5, sizing and fitment. These do run true to the size. I always get the boots for hiking, for whatever kind of boots I'm getting, half a size bigger than my normal shoe size, just to have a little bit of extra space in the toe box. Overall, the fitment, I would say, is a regular fit. It's a good balance between, it's not too narrow, it's not too wide, not too spacious. They don't feel too bulky on your feet, but at the same time they are not too restricting, so you still have that nice comfortable fit in the toe box. So I think it's going to, I personally like a little bit more of a narrow fit, but I think for most people this is definitely going to be a satisfactory fitment, and they are true to the size. Let's move on to the criteria number 6 really quick, application. If you are looking for something for tactical military applications, you're a law enforcement security officer, I think that is a great option, especially, most of the times you do have to, stand a lot on your feet, walk around quite a lot, and comfort plays a huge role whenever it comes to that kind of stuff. So I think you're definitely going to appreciate this. As far as the outsole goes, I think it's a huge plus that Under Armour went with Vibram, so you do have even better traction compared to the previous models. Even though the previous models did a pretty good job overall, but I think this was a really smart move. But let's go to the last criterion here. It's the price tag. Currently they are $111 on Amazon. There's a discount on them, but looks like their MSRP is $150. I don't know how long that discount is going to last. So if you're watching this video, by the way, the Amazon link is in the description below. I'll try to put the see if I can find them on Backcountry and other websites. Check them all, because sometimes you have better deals depending on where you're shopping. But if that discount is not available, so I apologize. So, but as of right now, they're $111, which I think is a fantastic price, and it is a little bit more expensive than the previous models, and really that's where this comes into play. That's a Vibram, and that's what you get. It is more expensive. Any boot that you're getting with Vibram outsole, it will be more expensive than a boot without the Vibram outsole. But honestly, I think it is definitely worth the investment, because you are getting quality. This is Vibram XS. In fact, I use the Vibram XS on 2 of my climbing shoes and 2 of my mountaineering shoes. And I have not had ever a slip or on anything, whether it's a rock, whether it's whatever it is you're walking on. I think it's the best outsole that there is. So I think it's definitely worth an investment. So the only concern, honestly, overall, is longevity. We will see how long they last, and really most of the times the problem that people are experiencing with these is because they use the PU, because they use the synthetic stuff. That stuff is not as it constantly keeps on improving, but it's not your Contoura, it's not your leather. So we'll see how long it lasts. So hopefully you found this review helpful. If you did, let me know in the comments below. This boot has been requested quite a few times on this channel, so if you do have any requests, you can drop them in the comments below and I'll try to address them. Thank you very much for watching, God bless, and I'll see you all in the next video.